done it! I cannot believe it! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Hello everyone, we are Through on Goal, a podcast where we talk about football and pretty much nothing else. My name is Sam, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and very best friend, Elliot. Hi, Elliot.
Hi, Sam.
How are you?
I'm good. Everything aside from being plunged into a second lockdown, but everything else aside, I'm good as ever. How are you?
I had a cracking week. I had an
bet you
amazing
did.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely holiday, Halloween, got very drunk.
Very, very drunk.
Very drunk. Feeling it now, but I'm fine. I'm okay. Elliot, I'm going to ask you a question
Yep.
that I don't think anyone knows the answer to at the moment.
Yep.
Are Man United good?
It depends what day of the week it is. If it's a weekend, no. If it's midweek, they'll beat anyone.
Yeah, I said. Are they going to be the first ever team to be relegated while winning the Champions League? Sorry, no, but
I mean, they are 15th.
right. Yeah, their home form hasn't been amazing, but they beat PSG and they beat Leipzig 5-0.
Yeah, like Leipzig are a decent side. Obviously, they've lost Timo Werner, but they're still no slouches. They've still got a load of very good players. And to do them 5-0 at home, I was expecting maybe not even United to get anything from that game, potentially. I mean, Sabitzer.
I think I predicted a draw. I think I was thinking more. I think United have looked all right.
Last time Leipzig came to England, it was Sabitzer that ran the show. It wasn't Werner when they played Tottenham, was it? But
No.
absolutely torn apart. But yeah, at the moment, Man United have one more point in the Premier League than they do in the Champions League.
Right. Yeah, because as I said, Leipzig, they're third in the Bundesliga. I think they're only 2 points off top, lost one game all season. So it's again, if they haven't, it's not one of those they've lost their best player and they've slipped down the league.
They lost to
bit,
Mönchengladbach this weekend, and if they'd have won that, they would have stayed top of the league. They're a good side.
Obviously, Rashford on and off the pitch in recent weeks has
What a
just been
bloke. Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. He comes on. Was it like an 18-minute hat trick or something like that? He scored?
Something like that. Yeah.
He could have had more. He could have had 4. He gave the penalty to Martial, which was brilliant of him.
He was
I think
on a
knew,
hat trick at that
didn't he?
stage as well. He'd only scored twice at that stage.
He must have known. He must have been like, "Oh, these are a bit. Yeah, I'll get another one. Don't worry, Martial, you take this.
Yeah.
Go on, Auntie." But no, it's 15th in the league when you look at their league position. And again, I don't know what it is with Man United at home, but every other than the Spurs game, oh my god, it was so boring.
It is
so boring.
really dull.
The Chelsea game was so dull, and even today's game was so boring. However, Arsenal probably out of the two looked more like they were going to win it.
They're by far the better side, yeah, sure.
What needs to change?
I think the manager needs to change, but along with that, I think they need Woodward to leave, and that's kind of position to just disappear, because it was the problem Mourinho had at United. He wasn't manager of Manchester United. He was head coach. He gets given the players that somebody else wants and gets told work with this. So it's that I don't think Solskjaer is a long-term manager for United. I think that they are kind of just waiting
100 games in charge. That took me by. I was like, really?
But I think that they are just waiting for a real lapse in form and an excuse to get rid of him, to bring in a superstar manager, because it's Man United. They go on about how they're supposedly one of the biggest teams in the world, and they want a superstar manager, and someone who's failed at Cardiff and done okay in the Norwegian league doesn't have the CV of a Man United superstar.
No, I hear you. Pochettino or Nagelsmann?
It is a very tough one, but I would go Pochettino, just because I know it's the kind of thing that gets repeated by middle-aged pundits on Sky Sports every Saturday afternoon, but he's got that Premier League experience.
Oh, is he?
But I mean, Nagelsmann, if you wanted a long-term replacement for Ferguson, if you wanted someone for 15 years, he's your man. I think he's still in his 30s, and he's one of the most well-renowned managers in the game at the moment.
But would United not want that? I'd say so. He's called the mini Mourinho. I would say I would go for Nagelsmann.
I just going off on a little tangent.
Hit me.
So
we love a tangent.
So you've got on about him being the mini Mourinho. On that,
well, apparently.
On that sort of point, do they go for Sean Dyche because he's the ginger Mourinho?
I'm all for gingers being in the game, mate. You know me. you get. You
want to be represented.
There's a niche market for ginger managers, and I think I'm going to. Do you know what? I'm going to contact the FA right now. You've got me riled up here now. Where are the ginger managers?
Yeah. But
Right, I think there's a different in class. He's called the Ginger Mourinho purely because he's ginger. Let's be honest. You can't discredit what Sean Dyche has done at Burnley. But however, Nagelsmann and Pochettino, they're both obviously in manager terms. One's obviously a lot younger than the other. Pochettino is still fairly young. Pochettino's got experience in the Premier League, working with youth. You know, like he's very renowned for that at Southampton. He did the same at Spurs as well. You know, I don't think Kane would be half the player he is without Pochettino's coaching. He's a massive influence on him.
But yeah, Nagelsmann is...
I don't know. Yeah, I think Nagelsmann's more of a risk long term, so to speak, because it is Leipzig is where he's really found it, and he's really created a hard team to beat and quick as well. Like they're on the counter attack. Leipzig could be really good. And you look at the players that United have got, like Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Pogba, Fernandes. Like on the counter attack, those are some dangerous players running towards you. So, but I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah.
That kind of sort of raises a point of in this kind of age, in this kind of social media age where everyone's got an opinion, is there ever going to be another Ferguson, another Wenger, another manager that stays on for 15, 20, 25 years?
I don't know. No one's really given a chance anymore.
No.
You lose that 5-6 games on a run. Who knows? The next 5-6 games could be what kick starts and they go off on one and stuff like that. But I guess in the age of where people create podcasts and talk about how bad manager is, word spreads, social media goes around, there's pressure on the board to sack him, and then it becomes that. And then obviously David Moyes, wasn't it? He had a 6-year contract at United, hand-picked by Ferguson. Yeah, wasn't an incredible start to the season he had. However, do you think if he was given the chance and given more of a time to build his team and go forward, what would United be now?
Yeah, potentially.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because obviously since he's managed West Ham twice, he's not doing bad for West Ham recently. I hate to say it. And he wasn't very good at Sunderland or Sociedad, was it? I think it was
Sociedad. Yeah.
So I don't know. 100 games in charge. It's a weird one. When a manager's in charge for 100 games, you think, that
he's settled, but
Ollie's Solskjaer's just never been settled yet. He's been in charge of Manchester United for over 100 games.
Yeah, there's always been question marks at any given point of is he going to stay? And I just don't see him as a long-term plan at United.
I mean, you could use Grant McCann as an example. End of the season. I mean, you wanted him gone. He
should have been gone. In truth, when on that kind of record, you should be leaving. But
stayed, kind of built his team a little bit,
and we are having a better season this season, even though we've had a few little blips. But it is.
Talk about blips. It
is a good point. But later. You look at the long-term managers, the managers that are given the chance long-term, and they're all kind of overachievers. We've already mentioned Sean Dyche, the Ginger Mourinho, and I mean Eddie Howe was an overachiever at Bournemouth. You get Gareth Ainsworth, he's overachieved at Wycombe, and when given the chance, they are kind of doing well. But
so how do you overachieve at Man United?
You don't.
You're expected to win something every year, aren't you?
Yeah. So it's a tough place, and I think it was always going to be difficult for anyone going in after Ferguson.
Oh yeah. Never been the same since. Obviously, we'll go to the top of the table, coming off Tottenham. Literally recently, just beating Brighton 2-1.
Yeah, I think it was finished about 5 minutes ago, just literally seconds before recording.
Not the referee's best game in the world. He seems to have got every decision wrong. Yeah. I didn't pay £15 to watch it.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but I've seen some things. Gareth Bale scored. There we go. Bale scored a goal of the Premier League back again. And Tottenham, now, I don't know why I didn't really clock it, but they're second now in the Premier League. I guess I kind of looked at that like, wait, they're second? And when you look at the draw to West Ham and potentially the VAR review at Newcastle, but let's do the draw against West Ham, they'd be top of the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be top of the league in goal difference, which is, it's mental. I guess I never really saw that because they've had a bit of a blippy, finishing off games and stuff. But hello, Tottenham for the league.
Yeah, no, I mean, for a few games they were sort of blowing teams away, but the last 2 games in particular, Brighton and Burnley, it is about just scraping those wins. But it is those 1-0s and those 2-1s that end up winning you titles at the end of the season. And Mourinho will know that more than anyone. He was in charge of that season that Chelsea conceded 15 goals, was it? And it'll be that he's going to want to work off of. And I mean, I'd say Liverpool are favourites for the league, but without Van Dijk and with the injuries mounting up elsewhere and change. You're bound to have Alisson injured at least once more this season.
Yeah.
They're not the Liverpool team of 2019-20.
One of the big things, though, from today, Gareth Bale has scored his first goal on his return. Well, I say his return. He's played a few games already, but that first goal, cross in by Reguilon, header in from Bale.
Goal made in Madrid.
Zidane got rid of them, but that's got to be good. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah,
I've seen the pictures of him celebrating. He looks happy.
Yeah, I watched it actually go in, and yeah, he was absolutely buzzing. He was just loving it. You could see it meant so much. It meant so much more than any goal he'd ever scored for Madrid.
Oh yeah, and he scored that goal in the final, but a header against Brighton, I think, just about tops it.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely number one.
With no fans.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible though, isn't it? Like no fans. Your first goal back, no fans.
There'd have been fans on the pitch if they'd have been there, wouldn't there?
Yeah. Oh, there would have been absolute scenes. But no. Speaking of fans, though, obviously not a tangent. We haven't really got a segment for the Champions League, but there was fans in the Champions League. It was so good to see. No fake crowd noises or anything. It was fans there celebrating and cheering. Oh, it was so good to see. And then
you can just hope of that one day returning.
Well, hopefully, I hope it will return this season. Every day puts more doubt though. But
yeah, but no, just talking on that. So I was watching the goal show, or as we like to call it on here, the highlights live, and I was watching it on Wednesday, and probably the least Champions League fixture out of the lot of them, Ferencvaros against Dynamo Kiev, that had a huge number of fans in, particularly the home end, and Ferencvaros scored in the 90th minute to equalise, and that was good to just see that sort of 90th minute big goal, fans' reaction. It was good to see that for the first time in a long time.
I think even Lampard said that. I know that they were the away team in Russia and everything like that, but to have that atmosphere of having fans, it felt good just in general. He said that, and I can imagine even if you're the away team, you've got people in the stands. You've got an atmosphere. Oh,
and maybe that gave Chelsea a boost because they won 4-0. They won convincingly. They missed a penalty as well. And yeah, maybe them sort of having people to boo and cheer them on was good. I did see a number of fans when Chelsea scored stand up with a Chelsea scarf, and I think you're brave going to Russia sitting in the home end. But yeah, no, Chelsea played very well.
Mendy, he's kept 3 clean sheets in a row as well.
He is a brilliant.
And that's the first back-to-back clean sheet I think in the Frank Lampard reign at Chelsea. Right, I believe. But I think I read
he just looks really convincing with everything he does.
Confident shot stopper.
Yeah, exactly. He saves the ball and he gets rid of it. It's not just palm back into the middle. He is a very good goalkeeper and obviously very high in confidence and looks to be a good signing at this stage.
Well, yeah, a very smart signing. Liverpool are top of the league. They did it against West Ham. Again, it was a little bit, wasn't the best of games I think I've ever watched. I mean, I was quite drunk watching it. But one of the standouts of the game, though, was Nathaniel Phillips. He had his Premier League debut at centre-back and he looks all right, didn't he?
So in truth, I don't think many people had heard of him before today. So you expect him to be like some 18-year-old come from the academy. He's 23, which in terms of Premier League debuts is quite old. I'm saying as a 25-year-old. but yeah, he kind of just looked really composed. He said in the post-match interview that he'd found out on Thursday from Klopp that he was going to be playing, and yeah, he didn't really look out of place, to be honest.
Can't say he did. Jota and Salah with the goals.
Jota is looking very good.
I was literally just about to say, Jota could be one of the signings of the season potentially. Like the kind of semi came out of nowhere. I think. I think they were links, but it was quick. I think from the links to him, and he's proven that to be. He wants a starting spot in Liverpool. He scored in the Champions League and he scored again yesterday.
And he deserves it over Firmino through the middle as well. And I remember I was recording after he'd signed and me saying that it is a very good signing, but it might not be one for now. It's for coming seasons as you phase out Firmino. But geez, I was wrong on that one by the looks of things. He's scoring for fun.
He wants Firmino on his way, doesn't he?
He scored the winner twice yesterday.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. And obviously, you've just got to quickly mention as well, before we move on to the EFL, that Southampton, again, looking good. However, Danny Ings looks like he's injured for a bit, and that is a shame, because they looked very good today against... Aston Villa. I think the bubble's burst a little bit now. I think we might start seeing Aston Villa move a little bit further down. They got 3 goals back, which is fair enough to them.
Yeah.
Watkins scored a penalty and Grealish, your favourite player in the world, scored. But Ward Prowse he's asking old Gareth Southgate to go on the phone to Ryanair and get him booked a ticket.
Yeah, get him on the
he
plane.
Could be off the Euros. Yeah, get him on the plane. Why not?
No,
why not? Dead ball. He is brilliant.
So he scored 2 direct free kicks today, and that was for the second and third goal. And on the first, he assisted from a free kick. And yeah, like you'd have him on the plane at the very least, because I think England are kind of lacking an actual centre midfielder. We've got a lot of number 10s and a lot of defensive midfielders, but to kind of play a bit of a box-to-box, a bit of actual centre midfield role, there isn't a lot.
But dead ball specialists in England, we're actually okay.
Yeah, we are.
We're not too bad for dead ball specialists. Obviously, we've got Alexander-Arnold for starters. Trippier, if he's picked and playing at left-back for some reason, he can get a ball in. Connor Cody's goal at Wembley. I think Maddison and Grealish are, all right for dead balls.
Obviously, Kane's in the discussion as well.
Yeah, but I know what you mean in terms of Ward-Prowse's ability to be box-to-box. It is a good point. Yeah. Maybe a shout for England. I wouldn't be totally against it.
Also,
I can't name. Yeah,
he has got previous of doing very well for England at dead ball situations after digging up that penalty spot against Iceland.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he wasn't happy, and then they scored the penalty, didn't they?
Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
but no, it's an interesting discussion to have. Now, I'm not a plastic. I support Gillingham through and through. But if Derby get taken over by a billionaire and win the league, that's it. Derby fan. No, I'm joking. I could never do that. But Jacob could be growing up being called a glory hunter potentially for supporting Derby, because they're in talks of being taken over by this billionaire Saudi
related
prince.
To Sheikh Mansour, and it's the same sort of consortium, I think, as the ones that very nearly took over at Newcastle, which would have made them the biggest team in the world by the Geordies' reactions.
Yeah. I could be coming to 10 minutes down the road from me. I could be neighbours with Messi. I could be neighbours with Mbappe. Yeah.
Right, Leo.
Just walking. Yeah, just behind him at the tills in like Aldi. Right, Leo, what you got there? Oh, yeah. Brilliant! I can't wait.
But maybe though they're kind of they've been playing kind of FIFA 14 or something, and they think Wayne Rooney's one of the best players in world
they haven't
football.
quite caught up with FIFA. Have they? Yeah.
But my sort of thinking on that is they're moving their attention to a derby because the sort of owner's test to be approved
going through the EFL,
is far less stringent than through the Premier League.
I was going to say, I could probably announce a takeover of a club, and EFL would go, yeah, no, he's.
Have you got the funding? Yeah,
I have some funding. Yeah. Can you afford to pay the players' wages? I've got some money.
Well, if they want to do it voluntarily,
I've got some money in the bank.
Yeah. But so if they take over a Championship club and then get them promoted from League One and then from the Championship, the way they're going, then no. But their site would obviously be set up Premier League and top half of Premier League.
They drew again at the weekend. Another draw against a good Bournemouth side. So if you got to take some positives from it, but that would just be so interesting, especially with how everything is today. Obviously, clubs losing money and COVID situation with players and contracts and everything like that. For then Derby just to be taken over by a multi-billion owner,
it would just be so. But I remember back when we started this podcast, we were talking of, is it going to be an East Midlands derby in the playoff final? And now it's kind of which East Midlands team are going to stay up.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I don't want you keep bringing up my predictions, but you've got Forest to be promoted in the playoffs this year. So
I do, don't I? That's a bad one. We'll look back at that in May.
But on to lighter news. Wycombe Wanderers have won a game in the Championship, and Elliot, to make it all the more sweeter, they beat Sheffield Wednesday, didn't they? You love it.
They're still on their way.
Elliot, now we're impartial.
I'll behave. But no,
what a moment!
Shall we start first of all with their first point of the season, which came at home to Watford of all teams?
Yes, no, very good point. I was watching out on the TV. Very good point. They hung on for that as well. They looked up for it, so that gave them some momentum going into the game against Sheffield Wednesday, who haven't had the best of starts to the season. I know the points deduction at the beginning of the season hasn't exactly helped with confidence and helped everything, but Lana actually, she asked me, she was like, "Oh my god, they beat Sheffield Wednesday," and she was like, "Oh my god, that's brilliant." And she went, "Where would Sheffield Wednesday be if they didn't have the points deduction?" I was like, "That's a good question." I was like, they would literally be outside of the relegation zone on goal difference. So not the best of starts anyway. But no, it's still though, regardless, that camp must be just over the moon and thrilled.
It's a huge success for them, massive success.
And Akin Fenwa, notably as well, made his championship debut at 30. You say Premier League debut at 23 years old. This guy just made his championship debut at 38. And
I've still got a chance.
Yeah. Wycombe, here we go. We'll get them on their way to the playoffs.
Get me on the WhatsApp. But no, it's brilliant to see. And like you say with Sheffield Wednesday, the points deduction doesn't help, but they're not in a good sort of bit of form. Because on Wednesday night they lost 3-0 to Rotherham.
Yes,
and like that's a local derby for them as well, and that's kind of that would hurt them because it's not just a local derby. Because their derby is obviously the Steel City derby against Sheffield United. That is the little team just on the outskirts of the city beating you.
I hear it's almost the same as if like you've got the Derby v Nottingham Forest, but obviously Derby Burton's not exactly far away, and if you Derby loses to Burton, it's not seen as good. And obviously Nottingham Forest and Notts County could also be likely the same, even though their stadiums are literally just across the river from each other.
Yeah, and there's also a cricket stadium right next to that as well, and the train station. Like everything you want is within sort of 5 minutes walk.
I'm going to very quickly talk about Gillingham. We haven't won a game in 6. We've lost 5.
Scored in 5. Is it?
We've had 2 sending offs in those games. A shocking tackle by Alex McDonald in the game yesterday against Sunderland. It looked like Gillingham were kind of holding their own a bit. Like I reckon I was hoping for at least a draw. I was out with the family at the arcade, and my phone. I'm keeping my eye on my phone, looking at the scores and stuff. Spending time with my family, of course. But why not Gillingham, of course. Yeah. We were in the car and I was driving, and my phone buzzed, and I went, "Oh
no."
That is either Gillingham scoring or Sunderland scoring. And I knew it was late in the game as well. I figured there's only about 10 minutes left. Pulled up at the traffic lights. I just thought, have a quick peek, Sunderland has scored. And then it just... Now, I'm not one for calling for managers' heads, fight. I know, it's a horrible run of form. Don't think in the slightest Steve Evans should be sacked or ever be sacked. I mean, to be fair, probably can't even afford to be sacked. Like, I feel like every club at the moment is semi-stuck with their managers unless you're in the Premier League, because you can't afford to pay them off, and then who are you going to pay to bring in? Like, it's really difficult situation at the moment in time. That being said, even if we could afford to do it, I still wouldn't do it. I think Evans needs to build up the side. I said that the players that we've brought in look good, but we just can't finish a game off. We can't.
It's late goals.
There's a lapse in concentration with defending and stuff. Yeah, and I don't know if it's a problem with, obviously they're quite young and need a bit more confidence at the back, but
I wonder if it's just a fitness thing, whether it's because it is a very sort of tight squad, isn't it? It's a very sort of small squad, and playing Saturday, Tuesday every week with no exceptions is going to take its toll. And like you say, they're young, and
but it's
as soon as sort of injuries start creeping in,
But Gillingham, it's not just Gillingham, is it?
No,
every team's in the same boat. But that puts Gillingham down to 17th, and we're 3 points off the relegation zone and 8 points off the last playoff spot. And when you look at it, when we were recording this a few weeks back, it was around there, looking good.
Remember Gills being in 6th?
I was saying, let's have Gillingham hold now. Let's see what it is. And now I don't want it.
I'm not sure I would either.
No. Well, I mean, you say that you've won 7 and lost 3. Gillingham have won 3 and lost 6. But anyway, let's go on to happier news. Hull lost.
So we lost to Swindon Town, who haven't played for a couple of weeks due to COVID cases in their team, and we played them off the park for the first 20 minutes, and then we conceded through just a stupid lapse of concentration. It was essentially the League One version of corner taken quickly, Trent against Barcelona, where we just switched off and they scored. And it's kind of typical City, really, that you just switch off and your heads drop, and as soon as they drop, it's so hard to sort of pick them back up. And that was a game that we should have been looking to be going in at half time 2-3-0 up, but we ended up losing 2-1. That is really sort of 3 points dropped, but on sort of the balance of play, and particularly the second half, Swindon do deserve the result, but we should have had it out of sight in the first half, in truth.
No, I was again quite drunk. Look, because you got to start early. Your pub's closed at 10, don't you? So you got to get more of a time out. But no, watching. Oh, we only got Freeview, so watching the Football Focus.
Yeah, no.
Final score. Was
yeah.
it final score? Watching going. It was brilliant. Yeah, as I said, brilliant to see Wycombe, but then obviously seeing Hull and Swindon.
Yeah.
Pick midweek, obviously. Pick ourselves up midweek. Can only hope.
Well, we don't have a midweek game. We were due to play Accrington, who have also been hit by COVID. So our next game is Fleetwood Town at home in the FA Cup next Saturday, which is one of the 3 teams we've lost against this season. So great. I was hoping for some village team away, which I wouldn't have been allowed to go to, but yeah.
No, it's a Gillingham or away to Crew. I don't know. I can't call it.
Yeah.
I can't even call it now. I just don't know.
So yeah, on Saturday in League Two, one big shock, or kind of maybe not based on form, but based on name, Leyton Orient beat Bolton 4-0, and it's got to be a tough.
It's almost as if calling out your keeper live on radio doesn't do anything for his confidence.
The thing is, though,
he did save a penalty.
Midweek, he actually got a clean sheet and they won 1-0. But they go on to lose 4-0 to Orient, and I haven't heard the post-match interview with the manager, but I can only assume that all 4 were the goalkeeper's fault. And but by the looks of things, to be honest, Bolton had all the chances and didn't. Well, they had 17 shots with 0 on target, so it's just kind of
Oh my word! Yeah, that's.
I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, the other kind of big news to come out of League Two is that Southend, a team that I think they've been in the Championship within the last decade, but they've definitely spent most of the last decade in League One, and they're looking like they're big possibilities to drop out of the league. They're still on 2 points from 10 games. They lost 2-0.
Haven't won a game yet this season.
They lost 2-0 to Port Vale, and I know there's financial problems at Southend, as there is at a lot of clubs, but they are just sinking like a stone.
Yeah, so even in the cups and everything like that, they've just not won a game at all. And we've been to Southend. It's a tin shed of a stadium. That's what makes the stadium that's what makes that away end brilliant. And yeah, I know they have been having some real issues, and it's you never want to see a club at all go out of business. But who knows? It's not one. That's weird. Made that. I was thinking maybe in the EFL Cup or the Papa John's Trophy.
Yeah, I've forgot about putting that in the notes. The Papa John's Trophy. I've never wanted us to win a trophy so much in my life.
I love one of my favourite comments of that was you've literally made the most tin pot trophy sound more tin pot. The Papa John's Trophy.
I remember back in the day of it being the Johnson's Paint Trophy, which
that was brilliant. But why did that ever
part of the reward of winning was that you'd win like however many hundreds of gallons of paint. Now, does this mean that if we win the Papa John's Trophy, that we're going to see Richard Smallwood be even slower in midfield because he's had 2 large mighty meaties before the game?
No, it's absolutely brilliant. Like it's just the name Papa John's Trophy. Just at Wembley calling out, this is for the Papa John's Trophy.
If there was any events at Hull City with a Q&A with Grant McCann, I'd be going along and I'd be saying, Grant, you get all these managers, focus on the league, focus on Europe, whatever. Focus on the Papa John's Trophy. Get us some silverware.
We've got to win the Papa John's Trophy. Oh, that's brilliant. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to the previous part of the podcast. This is a bit unusual. This is the part where we'd normally go on to the quiz, as it's the first weekend of the month. However, our audio decided it didn't want to play ball, which has made literally the whole quiz that we've just recorded completely unusable. It happens. You know, it's unfortunate because it was a cracking quiz, not going to lie. I'm not just saying that because I won it.
Yeah.
I was smashing some of the questions out of the park. Elliot lost his head. Not gonna lie. I wish you guys could have heard it, but unfortunately it's just not to be. So what we've decided to do is we're going to scrap this week's quiz. So I will not be winning this one, and we're going to completely do a brand new quiz next week. That's a bit of a bumper one next week for you. And we'll make sure everything's recording and working fine next week for that. Apologies there. It's going to be a nice short episode this week, but we'll be back up and running next week. We pinky promise.
Yes.
However, I am still going to end with the pun. Elliot won't laugh, not because it's bad, but because he's literally heard this about 10 minutes ago.
I probably will laugh because I laugh at pretty much everything, but
that's true. Yeah. And it is a cracking joke. So I will end on the joke and then we'll see you next week. So my every fortnightly pun is this. Socrates, to do is to be. Plato, to be is to do. Scooby Dooby Doo. Thank you very much for listening to the much lighter Through on Goal Light this week. We are TO Goal Podcast on Twitter. We are also Through on Goal on YouTube. You can give us a like and subscribe. Give us a follow on Twitter as well if you like what you hear. And we'll see you next week for the quiz.
Yes.
So, not just the quiz, obviously a big episode along with the quiz, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing 2 outros, not going to lie. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you in the next one. I've been Sam.
I've been Elliot.
And yeah, we'll see you next week. Tell your friends. Bye.
Bye-bye.